In 1973, Soviet researchers initiated an experiment so extraordinary it seemed to step right out of the pages of a science fiction novel. Participants were placed in sealed, windowless chambers, completely isolated from any indicators of time. No clocks, no natural light, no external cues. Their mission? To anticipate and predict random external events, including the precise moment these events would occur. At first, scientists were skeptical, dismissing early successes as mere coincidences. But the results were consistent and defied logic. These individuals were somehow syncing their awareness with occurrences far beyond their immediate perception. As the researchers pushed further, they noticed a strange pattern. When the participants entered a deep state of focus, their predictions became eerily accurate. It was as if their minds could step outside the boundaries of linear time and glimpse fragments of the future. Just as these findings began to gain traction within the scientific community, the project was abruptly shut down. All related documents were classified, and the lead researchers vanished from public view. This wasn't the only baffling study to explore time perception. Across the world, in the isolated monasteries of Tibet, monks were demonstrating an equally astonishing phenomenon. Declassified reports reveal that these monks, through years of disciplined meditation, could manipulate their internal sense of time. In one documented case, a monk slowed his heart rate to an almost undetectable level and described experiencing what felt like an hour of clarity in a span of just a few minutes. To the outside observer, time was flowing normally, but for the monk, it seemed to stretch and expand, offering glimpses of a deeper reality. The connection between the mind and the perception of time wasn't just a subject of isolated studies. During the height of the Cold War, secret experiments explored whether groups of individuals could collectively alter the flow of time. These classified projects involved high-stakes military simulations where teams attempted to manipulate their shared sense of time during critical operations. Participants reported a bizarre phenomenon. In moments of intense focus, time seemed to slow down for everyone involved. Split-second decisions felt stretched, and outcomes often defied normal expectations. But why were these studies buried? Why did so many of the researchers involved in these groundbreaking experiments suddenly disappear or have their work silenced? Could it be that the findings were too unsettling, too disruptive to our understanding of reality? These hidden stories raise profound questions. If time is not the fixed, linear construct we've always believed it to be, what role does consciousness play in shaping it? And if our perception of time can be altered, what does that reveal about the deeper nature of reality? The threads of these mysteries weave a picture of time that is far more fluid and malleable than we've been taught to believe. And as we explore the evidence buried in classified archives and forgotten studies, it becomes clear that understanding time might just hold the key to understanding ourselves. The way we perceive time has fascinated scientists for centuries, but when quantum mechanics entered the picture, the mystery deepened. At the heart of this science lies a fundamental paradox. Time, as we experience it, doesn't behave the way we think it does on a quantum level. It's not just a straight arrow marching forward. Instead, quantum theory suggests that time is more like a dynamic web where the past, present, and future may all be connected. Even Albert Einstein wrestled with this idea in his later years. Though his theory of relativity revolutionized our understanding of time, Einstein privately explored concepts far stranger than his public work revealed. Recently uncovered fragments of his correspondence hint at a fascination with what he called quantum consciousness, a theory suggesting that human awareness might play an active role in shaping not just events in the present, but even in the past. Portions of his writings discussing retrocausality, or events where the future influences the past, were reportedly omitted from published works. What might he have been onto? John Wheeler, a renowned physicist who worked closely with Einstein, took these ideas even further. Wheeler's unpublished notes reveal a thought-provoking experiment he called the delayed choice experiment. This experiment proposed that choices we make in the present could retroactively influence the state of a particle in the past. Wheeler suggested that consciousness itself could be the missing piece, an active participant in shaping quantum reality. But why were these theories left unpublished? What did they fear this knowledge might unravel? And then, there's the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research, PEAR, Lab, a name that still sparks controversy in scientific circles. For nearly 3 decades, this groundbreaking lab studied the mind's interaction with the physical world. Researchers found evidence that human intention, mere thought, could influence random quantum events. One of the most startling experiments involved participants attempting to influence random number generators. To the surprise of many skeptics, the data consistently showed subtle, yet statistically significant, deviations when participants focused their thoughts. But just like so many other pioneering studies, the PEAR Lab's work faced relentless opposition. Despite their findings being meticulously documented, funding was cut, publications were suppressed, and the lab eventually closed in 2007. Was it merely skepticism from the broader scientific community? Or was there more at play? A coordinated effort to keep the implications of their discoveries out of public discourse. At its core, quantum mechanics is not just about particles and equations. It's about reality itself. And if the mind can interact with the quantum world in meaningful ways, it changes everything we think we know. What does it mean if our thoughts can ripple through the quantum fabric of reality? Could it mean that consciousness not only interacts with time but perhaps even shapes it? As more of these studies come to light, the boundary between science and metaphysics begins to blur. It's not just theory anymore. It's a window into the hidden mechanics of our universe, and perhaps a guide to understanding how much power we truly have in shaping our reality, and even our timeline. If the human mind can influence quantum events, could it also interact with time itself? Decades of suppressed research suggest that it can, and the subconscious might be the key to this extraordinary ability. One of the most controversial studies in this realm emerged from the Stargate project, a highly classified U.S. government program designed to investigate psychic phenomena. Among its findings were documented cases of precognition, individuals accurately predicting events before they happened. These weren't vague guesses or lucky coincidences. Participants described future events in striking detail, from military maneuvers to political shifts, often days or even weeks before they occurred. These revelations were so startling that parts of the research were classified and never made public. Then came the Kronos Initiative, a secretive project launched in 1983 that reportedly sought to explore how the subconscious could access nonlinear time. Declassified fragments hint at experiments involving deep hypnosis and altered states of consciousness, during which participants reported visions of future events. What stood out was the consistency of these visions, often verified with astonishing accuracy. Some researchers theorized that the subconscious operates outside the constraints of linear time, connecting to a broader field of information that includes both the past and the future. One chilling example of this phenomenon involved a mass precognitive event. Weeks before a major natural disaster, scattered reports emerged of people experiencing vivid dreams or waking visions foretelling the catastrophe. Some described specific details, the location, the scale of destruction, even the exact time it would occur. These accounts were later collected and analyzed in secret government studies, revealing patterns that couldn't be easily dismissed. Could this collective precognition indicate that the subconscious mind is tuned into a deeper, universal timeline? These studies weren't just academic exercises. They hinted at practical applications that made intelligence agencies take notice. If the subconscious could truly access time in a nonlinear way, it could revolutionize everything from military strategy to disaster preparedness. But this also raised ethical concerns. If such abilities exist, could they be weaponized? And if so, who would control them? What's perhaps most intriguing is how much of this research never saw the light of day. Key findings were redacted, and entire projects were abruptly terminated. Researchers who dared to speak out often faced professional ruin or were discredited entirely. It raises the question, why was this work suppressed? Were the implications too disruptive for public consumption? Or was there something more to hide? These hidden experiments reveal a profound truth. Our subconscious may be far more powerful than we've been led to believe. If it can access information from the future or even influence the flow of time itself, it challenges everything we think we know about free will, destiny, and the nature of reality. But these discoveries aren't just for scientists or governments to explore. They hint at something deeply personal. What if your subconscious is already interacting with time in ways you don't fully understand? Could those moments of déjà vu, gut instincts, or seemingly unexplainable coincidences be glimpses of your mind reaching beyond the present moment? The answers might not just reshape our understanding of time, they could redefine the very fabric of human existence. If time isn't as linear as we've been taught, and consciousness can interact with it, then it's no surprise that some of the most cutting-edge experiments in quantum physics sought to explore this very connection. But what's truly shocking is how many of these experiments were abruptly shut down, or buried entirely. One such case took place at MIT in the late 1990s, where a team of researchers investigated the effects of human intention on quantum systems. Their experiment involved observing how focused thought might influence the behavior of particles at the quantum level. Early results were promising, showing subtle but undeniable changes in particle behavior when participants focused their minds on specific outcomes. But as the team prepared to publish their findings, the project was abruptly terminated. Funding was pulled, and the results were classified, leaving behind more questions than answers. Meanwhile, in Russia, another series of experiments sought to explore the link between sleep, time perception, and the subconscious. Participants were placed into controlled environments where their sleep cycles were manipulated to observe changes in their perception of time. In some cases, individuals reported experiencing detailed memories of events that had not yet occurred, as if their subconscious minds had leapt forward into the future. These findings were deemed so controversial that they were never officially released. However, rumors persist that the results hinted at a subconscious mechanism capable of perceiving time in ways we can't consciously comprehend. Even CERN, home to some of the world's most advanced scientific research, found itself embroiled in this mystery. Unreleased data from experiments involving quantum measurements reportedly revealed anomalies that couldn't be explained by conventional physics. In one instance, researchers observed particles behaving as though they were responding to future events, almost as if the timeline itself had folded back on itself. When questions were raised about these results, they were quickly dismissed by officials. But behind closed doors, whispers of time anomalies persisted. Perhaps the most intriguing experiments of all involved attempts to simulate time slips, moments where individuals experienced disjointed or overlapping timelines. In one classified study, subjects described stepping into rooms that seemed to exist outside of time, where hours passed in the blink of an eye, or seconds stretched into what felt like an eternity. These experiments were not only classified but actively suppressed, with key researchers reportedly disappearing under mysterious circumstances. But why were so many of these studies hidden or abruptly terminated? One theory suggests that the implications of these findings were simply too disruptive. If time isn't fixed and consciousness plays an active role in shaping it, it challenges the foundations of physics, biology, and even our understanding of free will. Governments and institutions may have feared the societal impact of releasing such paradigm-shifting knowledge. Another possibility is that the results have already been applied in ways we can only speculate about. Could this knowledge be used for strategic advantages like predicting or even influencing future events? And if so, who controls this power? These experiments push the boundaries of what we think we know about reality. They reveal a universe far stranger and more interconnected than we ever imagined. If time can bend, shift, and respond to consciousness, then the question isn't just about how we understand time, it's about how we live within it. The intersection of time and consciousness isn't just theoretical. Decades of hidden research suggest that the ability to manipulate time, or at least our perception of it, has already been pursued for practical use, often under the veil of secrecy. Governments and institutions around the world, have shown a profound interest in what can only be described as time consciousness applications. One of the most telling examples comes from the US military. Declassified records reveal patents related to time perception enhancement devices. These devices were designed to manipulate soldiers' sense of time during high-stakes missions. Imagine perceiving a chaotic battlefield in slow motion, allowing for split-second decisions with seemingly infinite clarity. Though the patents exist, their operational success remains unknown, hidden in the shadows of classified archives. But the military wasn't the only entity intrigued by the potential of time consciousness manipulation. In 2008, a private research facility filed a patent for what was described as a temporal consciousness synchronization system. The purpose? To align the collective perception of time among groups of individuals, particularly during critical, time-sensitive operations. While the technology was never openly discussed, leaked documents suggest it was tested in simulated crisis scenarios. Then there are the documented cases of what some called spontaneous time slips. Military records recount baffling events where personnel reported moments of disjointed time flow, hours disappearing in an instant or a single moment stretching endlessly. In one chilling account, a pilot reported losing all sense of time during a routine flight, only to land hours later than expected, with no memory of what had occurred. The aircraft's instruments showed anomalies that couldn't be explained, further deepening the mystery. The implications of these findings extend far beyond military and tactical applications. If time can be manipulated, or if consciousness can tap into time in ways we don't yet understand, then the possibilities are endless. Could this knowledge one day allow us to prevent disasters by collectively perceiving future events? Could we extend our perception of time to gain unparalleled clarity in moments of decision-making? These questions also raise ethical concerns. If governments and private entities are already exploring these applications, who decides how this power is used? What safeguards exist to ensure it isn't exploited for control or manipulation? The potential for misuse is enormous, especially in a world where information itself is a tool of influence. Yet, for all the secrecy and suppressed knowledge, the phenomena of time consciousness manipulation may not be entirely out of reach for individuals. Anecdotal evidence suggests that heightened states of awareness, achieved through meditation, focused intention, or even dreams, can expand one's sense of time. These experiences hint that time is not as rigid as we've been taught. The true power of this discovery lies in what it reveals about us. If time is fluid and consciousness can shape it, then we are far more connected to the universe than we've ever believed. Our thoughts, intentions, and awareness may ripple across the quantum fabric of reality, influencing outcomes in ways that science is only beginning to understand. This frontier, where time and consciousness meet, isn't just a scientific mystery. It's a profound invitation to explore the hidden potential within us all. And as more of this knowledge emerges, the question isn't just what we can do with it, but what we're ready to become. The connection between consciousness and quantum time remains one of the most enigmatic frontiers of human understanding. For centuries, time has been viewed as an unyielding force, an invisible thread pulling us relentlessly from the past into the future. But what if that thread is more flexible than we've been led to believe? What if consciousness is not just a passive observer of time, but an active participant in shaping it? We've explored experiments that challenge the very foundation of our reality, from suppressed studies on precognition to classified government programs investigating time manipulation. We've uncovered patterns of groundbreaking discoveries buried beneath layers of secrecy, discoveries that suggest our minds are capable of bending the flow of time in ways that defy conventional understanding. But this is where the real question arises. Why is so much of this information hidden? Could it be that the implications are too disruptive? That the knowledge itself could unravel the delicate structures of society, or even our collective perception of what's real? Some argue that humanity isn't ready to handle the truth, that the ability to consciously interact with time carries a responsibility we aren't yet prepared to bear. Others insist that the truth is already here, trickling into our awareness through declassified documents, unexplained phenomena, and the profound experiences of those who've dared to look beyond the surface. And perhaps you've already felt it. Those moments of déjà vu, when the future feels eerily familiar. The gut instincts that defy logic but guide you to the right decision. The unexplainable sense that time isn't as linear as it seems. These aren't just coincidences. They might be subtle glimpses into the deeper connection between your subconscious and the quantum nature of time. As we stand on the brink of this understanding, the evidence suggests we're closer than ever to breaking through the mysteries that have eluded us for so long. But the real challenge isn't just understanding the mechanics of quantum time. It's realizing the immense power of our consciousness and the responsibility that comes with it. The truth is, this is more than science. It's a call to awaken to the hidden depths of who we are and what we're capable of. If this resonated with you, there's more to uncover. Subscribe for more insights into the mysteries of consciousness and reality. And if you've ever had an unexplainable experience, one that defied time itself, share it in the comments. Your story might reveal more than you realize, and you're certainly not alone.